3 things I wish I had known about traumatized people before trying to help anyone, before becoming a physician, before even making my first friend. And number 1, you are not their therapist, and there are things that you can do that a therapist can do, and things a therapist can do that you cannot do. I had somebody that I loved very much who had been assaulted, and when I found out about this, I wish that I had been able to encourage that person to seek therapy early, even when they were a teenager. That would have made both of our lives much easier. As a friend, I am able to speak into this person's life in a way that a therapist can't, because I can walk with them. And to seek professional help for the things that I couldn't fix, I could have just continued being with them and not having the enormous burden of something I didn't even understand. Number 2, I wish that I had known that sometimes when they're freaking out or they're irrationally mean or angry, it can sometimes have nothing to do with you. In fact, it usually has nothing to do with you. This doesn't mean that those of us who are friends with traumatized people should just drop our boundaries and let people walk all over us. It doesn't excuse behavior, but I would have had a much easier time if I had known, oh, you're not angry at me right now. You're angry at this person who abused you. And something that I am doing is reminding you of that. We need to sit down and figure out how we can balance that, because on the one hand, I can't live my whole life walking on eggshells, but on the other hand, I want to know what kind of things remind them of things that are hurtful to them. That's a give and take, but you have to be able to know that it's happening, to be able to sit down and ask, like, do you know when you started feeling like this? What did I do that made you feel this way? I didn't intend it that way. What you think I was doing is not what I was trying to do. You got to be careful, because a lot of these people have been gaslit before as well. So when you are explaining that, like, no, that is not what I'm intending, and they're putting intentions in your mind, and they're saying, you wanted this, or you wanted me to feel this way. And it's like, no, that can be very confusing and overwhelming and exhausting, because it's like, what? Why do you think that I think that? Well, that's because that's how they've been treated. So they will assume that you assume things about them that you don't even think. Like, you love and care about this person, and they hate themselves, and so they assume that you hate them too. And that is exhausting. You have to know that's going on. And I said loved in the past tense, I still love this person. But it would have been a lot easier, and we're doing really well. But we're doing really well because I learned about trauma after medical school. The 3rd thing that I wish that I had known, if they're too much for you, they will pick up on it. You shouldn't make any promises you can't keep, and the boundaries that you set need to be boundaries that also take into account the fact that they have probably been abandoned many times. Boundaries, like, for example, I can't be answering the phone every hour of the night, but every Tuesday, I will be there for you. I will check my messages from you and respond. Something like that, where you've set boundaries that you're consistent, so you're not promising something you can't fulfill. Because if you promise to always be there and you're not always there, that will hurt. Bonus thing I wish I'd known is, it's very painful, especially if you are someone who ends up carrying other people's pain. So you gotta take care of yourself too, but taking care of yourself doesn't mean you ditch the other person. It means you also get help. You are there for them, you set appropriate times, you communicate with them so that they can kind of figure out when they're behaving in ways that are hurtful to you, and you can also watch things that trigger them, right? Like, if there's a perfume that reminds them of somebody who hurt them, don't wear that fucking perfume. That's easy. That's not going to hurt me to not do, right? If I can remember. You can set an alarm. Gonna see so-and-so today. Don't wear Old Spice, whatever. No point make someone else have a panic attack. But they're worth it. These people are worth it. Not every traumatized person is a good person, but that has been my experience.